Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes, the Mall of America, and the biggest state fair. Sorry, Texas. But until recently, this frozen wasteland was my home. And like anyone who grew up in a farm heavy place like this will tell you, it's easy to say there's nothing to do. So before I leave, I wanted to see if I can change my mind. And maybe yours too. Tucked beneath St. Paul is a system branching off from the Wabasha Street Caves, a spot locals call the Candyman Cave. The place is covered in graffiti and litter, but beneath the mess lies decades of strange history. Back in the 1930s, this area was the site of a bitter feud between two mushroom farmers, what people now call the Mushroom Wars. If not known for this, it's known for being a hideout during the Great Depression for gangs. But the reason many think the city is so eager to erase any trace of this cave's past, it's because it's rumored to have been the site of demonic worship, specifically a section of the cave known as the Devil's Altar, where according to local legend, cultists in the mid to late 90s dug up graves and used the remains of children in sacrifice. But there's little evidence to back up this ever occurring. Another of the cave's strange features is a 75-foot hand-carved staircase that ends abruptly at a small drainage pipe leading nowhere. But even stranger is what might be connected to it. A hidden spot known as the Temple of the Drowned Cat. Some say you can reach it through the Candyman Cave if you're persistent enough. Those who've been there describe a place that feels wrong, unnaturally symmetrical, with eerie acoustics that make even a whisper unsettling. It's no wonder people believe. Once home to the Dakota, Gray Cloud Island sits just south of Cottage Grove. It's small, quiet, and depending on who you ask, haunted. The island's limestone kiln and ancient burial mounds are some of the oldest remnants of life in the region, but the island's attempts at settlement never quite worked out. Today, only a few hundred people call it. The island has plenty of stories to tell, the most famous being the Green Lantern, a glowing light that moves through the old cemetery at night. Locals say it's the spirit of a Dakota chief still walking the grounds with his lantern. Then there are the 12 headstones of the nuns. The legend goes, if you count them once, you'll get 12, but on your way back the number changes. And if you watch someone else count, you'll see a small boy walk beside them as they reach the last headstone. And finally, there's the white pickup truck. People say they've been chased off the island by a driverless white truck that appears and disappears at random. Most locals claim it's just a pissed off resident tired of ghost hunters coming to the island. But to be honest, I kind of hope it's both. Either way, next time I find myself home, you can bet I'm going to check this place out for myself. Now, this last one is special because almost nobody outside my small town has heard of John Wayne Wood. When I was a kid, my grandpa used to tell me stories about him. This giant of a man, 6'6", 400 pounds, who wore nothing but overalls and drove a rusted out school bus. He said the stairs to the bus were bent from him using them so much. Woods was also a recluse, not a fan of authority. A lot of people thought he was just some backwoods redneck, but my grandpa swore otherwise, claiming the man was a lot smarter than he looked. He told me that he lives on a massive farm full of exotic animals, fainting goats, cows, geese, and an army of guard dogs. and apparently a baby lion, which led to a 3-day-long standoff with the police. But that's not even the strangest part of the story. He said John didn't care much for money, that he would rather trade for cookies, and apparently he did, trading things like firewood, meat, crops, even supposedly a car for a crate of Girl Scout cookies. Which, I can't honestly blame him for that one. I know I would trade my first car for whatever the fuck those coconut ones are called. But the other strange part, which I always thought counteracted the he doesn't care about money part, was he was obsessed with buried treasure. Every day he'd dig up older relics, convinced there was hidden 18th century gold somewhere on his property. Even Gramps found this crazy. But then again, considering a man who trades in basically nothing but cookies, he had a lot of money, he said. I never really believed he was real, but every member of my family swears he was. So, hey, if you're ever in Minnesota and see a giant guy standing next to a school bus, maybe offer him some cookies. You never know, you might walk away with some gold. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed the show, consider subscribing. Or better, watch another one of my videos. Remember, be careful, have a good time. Goodbye.